Welcome back, guys. In this short tip, I will show you guys how to create this background which I have created in my previous tutorial using the repeat grid tool. But for some reason, some of you guys still using the older versions of Illustrator which doesn't support the repeat grid. So in this tutorial, I will show you guys another different method to create the same exact background. All right. Okay, so let's get started. So before we start, I want you guys to understand this part very carefully. Okay, so let's go in here and create a polygon. Same as earlier, I'm just going to click on the artboard, and for the radius, I'm going to select 100 pixels, same as earlier, and we need 6 sides for this polygon. Okay, select OK, and for this, I'm going to change the colors. For the background, let's apply a random color, maybe a pink color. And for the stroke, I will make the stroke as 4 pixels. And let's make it inside. All right. We need to make it inside so we can easily understand what's going on. I'm going to make this one to the center of the artboard. All right. And I will make one line like this. 90-degree vertical line and 90-degree line like this in here. All right. And I'm going to select all of them and center it to the artboard. All right. You can center it to the artboard from here. I want you guys to understand this part very carefully. In Illustrator, when you create this polygon tool in here, it's asking for radius. What that means is the radius is calculated from the center point to here. So the 100 pixel you have entered is from here to here. So I'm going to make a rectangle in here. Okay. And for this, I'm going to make 100 pixel width and 100 pixel height and okay. And let's make it a fill object so we won't have any confusions. So I'm going to bring this one in here. As you guys can see, this is a 100 pixel rectangle, and this in here to here is 100 pixel. So all these lines from this center points to this anchor point, we have 100 pixel. But if you guys see from here to here, it's not 100 pixels. It's a different size. When you bring in here, you can see these two are same size, but it's not 100 pixels. It's less than 100 pixels. So this part is very important, guys. Then only you will understand the next step. Okay, so I'm just going to delete this one. And if you make a calculation from here to here, let's do a measurement. Let's go to the views and activate the ruler from here. All right. And I'm going to bring the 0 points to the center point of this polygon. All right. Just drag and drop in here. Now, I don't know whether you guys can see or not. If you zoom in a bit, let's bring in a guideline in here. I will place that in this edge. And if we go and measure the distance between the center point to this edge, it's showing as the distance is about 83 pixels. Okay, so from here to here, it's 83. So both sides combined, it will be around from here all the way to here, it should be around 166. Okay, so it's not the exact measurement, but we don't need to worry about that. But what I want to say in here is from here to here, it's not 200 pixels, but from here to here or here to here, it will be 200 pixels. All right, guys, clear? Okay, so let's move on. So I'm just going to delete this, and delete this. Now let's bring this one in here. And for this, what I'm going to do is I'm going into the object, and in here, go to the patterns and make a pattern. Okay. After we create this, it will add this pattern into the swatches in here. So that's the message in here. So I'm just going to select OK. So by default, we have this pattern, which is a standard pattern, which will place the object in the grid like this in here. Okay, so let's zoom in a bit. So how this pattern calculated is based on this blue line you see in here. So for the Illustrator, it doesn't care about the object inside. So whatever inside this blue line will be repeated based on our settings. So now if we go in here, we have the pattern name in here and the type of the grid, and the width is 200 pixel, which is correct because from here to here it's 200 pixel. If I increase this width to 250, you can see it's using the center point and it will add in additional pixel to both sides, which will repeat in other objects as well. So when you increase 50 pixel in here to the total width, it will add in 25 to both sides. So the gap will be 25 plus the 25 from the other object. In total, we have 50 pixel gap in here. Alright guys, same we can do for the height also. But by default, it has taken the height 173.2051 distance between top to bottom. Okay guys, so we will stick to this because we don't have to calculate the amount. Illustrator is already giving you guys the calculation for you. Alright, so now I will go back in here for the width. I will stick to the width, which is 200 pixels. So I'm going to change this one to 200 pixels. All right. So we have no gap in here. Okay. Below we have these settings. You don't have to worry about that for now. Let's go back in here to the type of the pattern. We can go in here. You guys can see we have a couple of options. For this example, I'm going to select the brick by column, which is the same style we selected in the repeat grid tool as well. Now you can see this brick style pattern in here, which is what we wanted. But now we have to bring this gap to 0. So if you guys remember, so the gap between here to here and here to here is 50 pixels, but we have this gap in both sides. So we need to bring this one to the center point, which is 25 pixel each side. So I'm just going to make this one 150. And it will deduct 25 in here, 25 in here. You can see we have created the pattern we wanted. Okay, we can name this one anything you want. So I'm just going to name this one as honeycomb. All right. And just once you are done, you just need to close this in here, which will be creating the pattern in your swatches. Okay, now we can delete this in here. To add in the pattern, you can define a shape. For this, I'm going to draw a rectangle in here. Okay. And for this, I don't need any stroke. I'm going to delete the stroke. Select the fill color and go to your swatches and apply the pattern we have created, which is this honeycomb in here. Okay. So we have applied the pattern to the background, but this is not a vector object, it's a pattern object in here. So what we can do is select this and go in here to object and expand appearance. Okay, but what we have expanded is only the swatch we have applied to the top. The fill is still using the pattern. If you go into appearance, you can see the fill is still a pattern. So what we need to do again, we need to go to object and expand, and this time we are going to expand the fill. All right, so we have expand the fill, and now you guys can go in and select these individually. But if you guys notice, in some places it won't come properly. So if I double click in here, again you can see some places the pattern is not clean as the repeat grid. So we can correct this very easily, guys. You can go into the magic wand tool in here, and you guys can select one of these shape, which will select all these shapes which we wanted for our artwork. Okay, so just select all of them and Control X, which will cut our selection, and all these shapes are additional shapes added by the pattern tool. So we can select all of them and delete. Now Shift Control V, which will place this on top like this. And in here also, sometimes guys, if you go in and move, you can see it has placed like 3 or 4 objects in here. Actually, we have 4. So sometimes you have this issue. Sometimes you will only have 1. But we can correct this easily also. So I will go back. Okay, now you have to select all of them and go to Pathfinder and unite them. Okay, now if you go in and see, we have only one object, which are purely vector object, which you guys can easily edit. In addition, you guys can do one more step also. Select all of them and go to object and go to the path, and you guys can simply simplify the path. Just stick to the auto, okay, which will clean up if there is any additional anchor points. Okay, so now we have this in vector, so you guys can easily repeat the step we have created in our previous tutorial. Okay, first step, go to the direct selection tool and select these randomly. And once you are select with the selection, go and apply a color. I will apply a random color from my library in here, maybe a blue tone. Okay, and now to avoid multiple selection, you guys can go to object and lock this selection in here. Okay, repeat the step for the second color also. Go and select these randomly again and apply your second color. All right, and this one also, you guys can go to the lock and lock this selection. Now you guys can select the rest of these polygons by a regular selection tool and apply your third color. All right, okay, now we go back in here and unlock all of them, and again we are going to repeat the same steps for the additional filters. This time I'm going to use the direct selection tool and select randomly. Ignore the colors, just select randomly. Go to the filter, stylish, apply a inner glow. Okay, make sure your preview is on. Change the color to a darker tone. Black is better. And for the mode, select multiple. And blurriness, bring it like 25. And for the opacity, make it 25 as well. So we will have this nice emboss effect in here. You guys can adjust this opacity and blurriness based on your colors. I think for me, this is perfect. Make sure your selection is from the H and select OK. And now you guys can lock this one again, Control 2, or you can go into your layers and create a new temporary layer and place them onto that temporary layer and lock them in here. Okay, now go back to your base layer, select them again with a random selection. Once you are done with the selection, bring them into a new layer and make sure to place them in the topmost layer. It's better to keep this effect on the top. Okay, for this, again, I will go into the filter effects, and in here, go to the style again, apply a outer glow. Okay, again, change this to multiple and blurriness 25, and for the opacity we can stick to 75. Okay, I want to show that these are on top, so this look perfect, and you can press OK. All right, now you can lock this one in here as well, and we can go back to the old one. And again, the last part, I'm just going to select some of these randomly. You don't have to select all of them. You can hide them also if you want to, so you guys can easily select the rest. All right, guys, now for them, again, go to effects, style, and apply a drop shadow. You can adjust based on your settings as well. Blurriness 25 and opacity, I will stick to 75 again, or maybe let's bring it 50. All right, that's okay. Now we have our background in here. All right, guys, looks good. And if you want, you can also have a separate background for this and apply any color, so we will have this gap also covered. So I will apply a white color for this. And guys, if you don't want the gap when you are creating your polygon, just ignore the stroke. I have created the stroke so that I can easily explain things to you guys. And also the stroke became this gap, which is also looking good in this artwork. All right, now you guys can select all of them and make a group. So everything is on one layer. And now go to the rectangle and draw a rectangle to cover your artboard. And now you guys can select all of them, right click and create a clipping mask. All right, so we have created the same honeycomb background using the pattern maker tool. All right guys, thank you for watching. See you guys in the next tutorial.